All right, so here's another good use case for LLMs, and that's in terms of the IDE experience in editing code. So I've got some AppleScript here, and if you look through this, you'll notice there are some parts where the formatting is inconsistent. For example, right here, in fact, if I toggle the white space, you can see this. Right here on this line, I've got 2 spaces, and then the next line, I've got 2 tabs, and thus it's indented more than the first line, even though these should be indented the same amount. Same is true for down here. In this case, I've actually got a mix of tab and 2 spaces. And I've got some other problems throughout. For example, I've got 4 spaces here, and that should just be 1. I've done that up above as well. I added 2 spaces between the parenthesis and then the inner contents or expression. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to format this, Shift-Alt-F, and you can see it's asking me to install a formatter. Okay, maybe there is a formatter. If I come here, though, you can see there's about nothing available, and yeah, this is not going to format your code. But how about I just select everything or part of this code here. Let's just take these 2. Select this. I can come up to the little Copilot wizard, modify using Copilot, ask it to format this code, hit return, and let's see what happens. Right, you can see it's rewriting the code. And just upon initial inspection, it looks much better. You can see if I accept this here now, we've got, well, it decided to go with a tab here. I don't know if that is the recommendation in AppleScript to use tab versus spaces. Nonetheless, at least what it did here, at least it's consistent now. It also fixed some of the issues with, if I undo this change here, you can see we had 3 spaces here, 3 spaces here, reapply. You can see it got rid of that as well. So it's given me a first pass at reformatting this code, and I don't even need a tool that's actually designed to do this. And of course, if I undo that, you can see I've got the mess up above now, and I've got some more down below here. If I select the entire file to format this then, and choose to modify using Copilot, run the same prompt again, and it should do everything. This will take a little longer as it rewrites the code, and it looks like it doesn't let me scroll, but looks like that's done now. I could accept that then. And I could always double check something like this by scanning through it, or even better is if I save this, come back over to the command line and look at the changes to that AppleScript file. And then I could step through this, or maybe when I'm doing a review here, I could incrementally add the changes. So I can go through a subset of this, split it up if I want here. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. Yep, that looks good. And that looks good as well. And so now I've got everything ready to go to check into version control, and I have my formatted file. And I think this is a good example of something you should try to think about if you're stuck with something in terms of your IDE, a feature that's not available. Is it possible that simply by chatting to an LLM and having it rewrite some code, you could do something that would otherwise be extremely tedious?